Hello and welcome to another episode of Spoil Your Appetite. I'm Tristan and happy Monday everybody. Hope you all had a great weekend. I would say mine was pretty good too. Started off on Friday by going to Six Flags and I'm not one for roller coasters, but you know, since my friend had a membership, I got 20-30% off, so didn't have to pay much. Gotta say, there's a reason why I haven't gone on a roller coaster for 14 years, because I'm just not a fan of them. You know, it all started when I was 9 in Florida, I believe. Went on my first roller coaster. Ever since then, never went back. Never went on a roller coaster ever since then. But friend took me, and you know, crazy because we were walking towards the Six Flags, and you know, the roller coasters are right there, and you know, it would come by, the ride would come by and whatnot, and you hear these people screaming, and it's just like, it just kind of brought back the I guess the anxiety or whatever, because I'm just like, I don't see the fun in roller coasters, and that kind of proves that I'm just a boring person. But the only rides that I did ride was I rode water rides, and that was it. The first one was a bit, you know, not scary, but it was just like, I'm not a fan of them. There's a reason why I'm not a fan. You know, first of all, you're in this, it was something about, the ride was called something log or something. You're in this plastic log, and, you know, just bumping into the sides and whatnot, it really didn't help me at all. And then the first uphill of ride or whatever, you go down, and I was just like, I'm not a fan. Then we got to the second big ramp, and it was great. It was okay. It definitely, once we hit the water or whatever, and the water just hit me in the face, because I was in the front for some reason, and the water hit me in the face, and I was like, okay, that wasn't too bad, you know, still scary, but just the feeling of like feeling the chain and the ramp underneath your feet. It's just like, nah, I'm not about this at all. It was an experience, but first ride, I did that. And the second ride is a real trip. I did the Monster Mansion, and you want to talk about, I don't know. It's me. I'm sure it's for everybody, you know. I'm sure this ride is just it's a kid ride, and you know, you put your kids on it just to traumatize your kids, I guess. But like, for me, I would never do that to my kid if I ever had one. Never traumatize them. I just want to be a responsible parent. But anyways, this Monster Mansion ride was just so damn sad. Like, it's definitely of its time, and you could just smell how old it is. Like, it's that old, and it was just completely fucking sad. Like, to the point where, you know, there's a moment in the ride where it gets to the scary part or whatever, and nothing really jumps out at you. It's all based on the designs of the animatronics, and it's funny to hear those animatronics, and you can just hear the mechanics and whatnot in them. It was so sad, to the point where their only jump scare is this loud horn, and that was it. And I was just like, I don't know what you do. Like, apparently the history goes is that Six Flags that I was at, that's ours. Like, that was the first one to be, like, I guess memorized or whatever. Like, I don't know, but it was so sad. Then I went on, later on in the day, did this Thunder River ride, and it was just, I'm good. Like, I don't mind water rides. They're better than roller coasters in my eyes, because again, I do not like roller coasters at all. But yeah, that was whatever. Then afterwards, it started raining, and the long walk to the parking lot was fun. So many puddles. What else? I did go to the DC theme park. It was fun. There's the Hall of Justice. I didn't realize until I got inside that it's a ride, and I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to ride a ride. But apparently all you do is shoot things, and I was like, even then I was still like, nah, I'm good. I mean, it was a fun theme park. I mean, I think the highlight of it was there was a giant Superman logo on the ground, even though if you like stare at it for too long, for like just like a good 10 seconds, if the sun is out and whatnot, you could be blind by this thing, honestly. Like, the color was just so bright. It nearly, like, especially if you get up close to it, it really can blind you, I think. But yeah, and also leaving the theme park, I slowed down because I was listening to the music, and I'm like, this is one of the scores from Man of Steel, and I was just like so taken away. I was like, oh wow, like I imagined that's what they would play, but I didn't think, I imagined they would have just played just your typical superhero themes like the Danny Elfman Batman theme or the John Williams theme. Didn't think they would pull not even the theme from Man of Steel, but like one of the tracks from the score or whatever. But yeah, that was dope. But of course the highlight for me was the water park. Like, the water park was just fun. I thoroughly enjoyed that part a lot, just going down the slides and whatnot. And then that giant pole or whatever, and almost died on one of the tube slides or whatever, face first towards the bottom. It was just, oof, yeah. But yeah, Six Flags, overall, I would never do it again. Not really. I mean, I wouldn't like go out of my way to plan a trip to Six Flags. I wouldn't do that. I would just go with a friend. You know, if a couple of buddies want to go to Six Flags, I'm just going to hang out at the water park. Like, forget all the rides. Like, no way. Like, there's a ride where you can actually stand. You can stand on a ride with the rail clenched to your chest, and it's like, who insane person thought of that? Like, you know, that's definitely for people who want that adrenaline rush. But yeah, Six Flags, not for me, and kind of goes to show you that I am like not a fun person at all. Like, I'm just not a fun person. I don't see the fascination with roller coasters at all. But yeah, that was my Friday. Then Saturday, had a friend come over, and she wanted to watch, she wants to get me into Lord of the Rings, because me and her love to talk about Game of Thrones and a lot of other nerd stuff. And so I've told her before that I've seen bits and pieces of Lord of the Rings, but never sat down to watch through it all. And so she's like, oh, you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. I think you would thoroughly enjoy them. And I'm like, I don't know, because to me, great way to describe how I always looked at Lord of the Rings is that bit in Clerks 2 where it's just a bunch of walking, and it's just all that business. If you haven't seen if you've never seen Clerks 2, and you have a great dark sense of humor or whatever, and you're not easily triggered, you go watch that bit in Clerks 2. You'll find it on YouTube. It's great. It's kind of how I always looked at Lord of the Rings. And so, yeah, my friend was like, oh, we're going to do this and whatnot. And so she decided to say we should watch the extended editions. And I was like, oh, cool, there's extended editions. And so I looked up the extended editions, and I was like, holy shit, these movies are long. The first movie is almost 4 hours. The first movie is like 3 hours and 48 minutes, and I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. Second movie's like 4 hours, and then the last movie's like 4 hours and 25 minutes, and I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, oh my god. And I just didn't see this ending well at all, but we got through it. I was so engaged to it all. Like, never once was I bored by it. Never once did I feel like it was dragging. I don't know. I thought the pacing was good, and throughout the whole movie, she's telling me all these details, and I'm just like, this movie is just layered with, like, stuff, and it's just like, wow, now I can't wait to see the next movie, The Two Towers. And you know, for me, Lord of the Rings was never my thing, especially as a kid. I was never into, like, dragons and D&D, nothing like that. And so I guess I would have to thank Game of Thrones for getting me into it, because that was my first, like, D&D, like, dragons and stuff like that. Never was into it as a kid. I mean, my brother was into it a lot. He loved D&D. He even played, He always played Diablo and stuff like that. That was never my thing at all as a kid. I always liked my comic book heroes or whatever, even though I never really watched the cartoons. I always stuck to the movies. So it's crazy how it's just like coming around, and I am thoroughly enjoying. I cannot wait to watch the second one, and so I'm just like waiting to hear from her when we can watch the second one, because wow, that I thoroughly enjoyed it a lot. And I don't know, maybe if I wasn't watching it with someone, maybe I would have turned it off. I don't know. I don't really know. But yeah, I can't wait to watch the other two, because I'm just like, I'm so engaged by it. The only thing Lord of the Rings related the only Lord of the Rings thing that I liked, I had what's it called, on PlayStation 2, I had Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers game, and I would play Legolas, because I always liked that long blonde hair or whatever, and the pointy ears or whatever. And I always played that game, and I don't think I ever beat it, but still, that was my only Lord of the Rings related thing that I thoroughly liked. And then, yeah, that was my Saturday, and it was a lot of fun watching the first Lord of the Rings movie. But yeah, alrighty, time to get into the show today. Today's gonna be, of course, I'm always late to these things or whatever, kind of busy-ish. So there's a lot to talk about. This is a catch-up episode, so if you want to skip this episode, just go for it. I don't really care. But I'm going to talk about everything, all things, the Comic-Con news that dropped that interest me a lot. First things first, Avengers Endgame has officially become the biggest grossing movie of all time. It finally beat Avatar. I always thought it could make it when it first came out that first weekend and made 300 plus million opening weekend. I was like, oh, this could catch up to it. And with the re-release and all that, which I don't think it needed the re-release, but maybe it did. I don't know. So congrats to it. Who knows? I wouldn't be shocked that this probably won't last long, because, we're getting Avatar 2, 3, and 4 later on. So I imagine when Avatar 2 comes around, Disney may release the first Avatar movie. And yeah, then Avatar will be on top again, which is like, fine, whatever. But it does beg the question, how can Endgame get to this, be this number one? Endgame is definitely a movie where you have to go back and watch the other movies to know what's officially going on or whatever. I don't think you can jump into this movie, say a Captain America Civil War, where I feel like if you never watched a Marvel movie and you just jumped into Captain America Civil War, you'd be totally fine, because they do all the backstory. And with Endgame, it's you need all those back issues and just to rewatch them all and catch up to it. Whereas with Avatar had no build-up. Avatar was just this new James Cameron movie, and everybody knows James Cameron, and, at the time, the technology was oh my god, it's still a good-looking movie, too. It's still, the effects hold up real well. I think Avatar, looking back on it, I haven't thoroughly watched it again, but I remember the first time I saw it in the theater, I think I saw it on the IMAX, and I believe it was in 3D, and I was like, okay, this is cool. I dug it as a 14-year-old kid. I dug it a lot. And then as years went on, I never really cared for it again. And so I'm just I don't know if Avatar 2 can have that build-up, or at least make as much money as it could. I don't think it'll make as much money as the second one, but it could make $1 billion. But then again, I don't know if that's the case. I don't really know, because, who still cares about Avatar, I'm sure, it might be a nostalgic thing for people my age or so. And so, I don't really care for Avatar as much. Then again, it all depends on the first trailer or so. Because, that's all we've been hearing about is just the news of a new Avatar. And it's do we want it? I mean, I get it. I get, the whole, James Cameron wants to push the technology and all that business, but still, it's like, I don't know how about 4 or 3 other or 5 other Avatar movies. I don't really know. Like, I don't see what is the point. Like, I mean, you could always, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and find out, because as of now, it's like, I don't really care. Like, I don't really care for Avatar 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And, as for me, I don't really have any, like, anticipation for another Avatar movie. Like, I don't really care for it as much. But, I mean, again, I guess we'll have to wait and see with that first teaser trailer for Avatar 2. Anyways, alrighty, let's officially, since we're now talking about Comic-Con news, Young Justice 4. Season 4 is greenlit, and I am so excited. I've been enjoying Season 3 so far. They're definitely playing to the political aspects of our world and whatnot, and that's fine. I still dig it a lot. I like the new characters, Halo, Braun, and Terra, and all these other characters. I'm digging it a lot, and I just it kind of bugs me because it's like one episode a week, and these episodes are like 20 minutes, and that's about it. And I'm just like, come on, I need like 3 a week, because in the beginning, when Young Justice dropped on the DC Universe app, which you can only see the 3rd season on the DC Universe app, they dropped the first 3, and I just felt like, they're gonna do 3 a week. That's pretty cool. But no, they're just doing it weekly, and it just kind of... I would love to have 3 a week, honestly. I would love to have 3 a week, because it's just like, it's not enough. It's never enough for me. I mean, if they're going to be like, around 20 minutes or so, might as well release the whole thing. But then again, smart move is to do it weekly, and that's totally fine. But yeah, Season 4 is a greenlit. That's great, because so far, I'm still enjoying Young Justice. I mean, I might have to rewatch the whole season again just to review it. That is if it's worthy of my time to review it. But yeah, Young Justice Season 4, great. I can't wait. Halloween sequels. They're a thing, and they're coming. So apparently Halloween is getting a sequel from the 2018, or was it? Yeah, 2018's Halloween movie that basically said, we're going to forget all the other movies. The canon is now the first movie and this new 2018 Halloween movie. So apparently they're making sequels to it back to back. The first one coming out on Halloween Kills, October 16th, 2020. And the next one, Halloween Ends, on October 15, 2021. I am, when it comes to horror movies, I think for me, like, who is my favorite classic horror monster killer or whatever? It's Michael Myers. I just like that. It's just his presence that scares you. I like that a lot. And I remember going to that first one last year, watching that first movie, and I was just like, I dug this a lot. I like that. Granted, it is a bummer that they're like, okay, Michael Myers and Laurie are not related. Kind of bummed me out, but at the same time, after watching the movie, I'm like, okay, you know what? I can let that go. I like this, actually. I like that, he's not really related to anyone of our main cast, and, Laurie Strode having that PTSD and that anxiety of, like, he's going to return one day, and, I'm going to be ready, and still haunted by that, just by her friends being killed by this psycho and whatnot. And so with these new Halloween movies, I'm very excited. I mean, 2 more is kind of interesting, because I just feel like, if you're gonna do another Halloween movie, you might as well end it, like, just go for Halloween Ends, like. But I guess we'll have to wait and see what they are coming up with for these next 2 other sequel movies. So, but yeah, I'm excited. And, because Halloween for me is like I would say probably my favorite horror movies of all time. I mean, pick and choose. I love the Halloween movies. I mean, never seen Season of the Witch, because that, I've heard it has nothing to do with Michael Myers and whatnot. So, Halloween 1, 2, 4 and 5 and H2O are like my trilogy. Like that's how I see that franchise. I don't count the other ones like Michael Myers Comes Home and all that business. Like I don't count those or whatever, because it's just like it's all about the family, I guess. But yeah, Halloween, more Halloween movies. I'm excited, and kind of makes you wonder where will they take the IP after this. Like, will they reboot it? Of course they'll reboot it, but I feel like, Halloween, you could totally do that as a series if you felt like it. Maybe as a mini-series. I don't know. In other news, Brandon Routh is going to be Superman once again for the CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths. And he's going to play the Kingdom Come version, which I am so happy for him. Like, for me, Superman Returns, it's not a good movie, I'll be honest. I mean, it's a pretty gorgeous looking movie. Like, it's a very beautiful looking movie, but as far as a movie on its own, it doesn't really do anything. It's a very human Superman movie. There's not much action, but it's kind of like, it's more centered on the human part of Superman, if I can remember this correctly. But yeah, and the whole Superman having a kid, it's like, did we need that? I don't think we needed that. But yeah, Superman Returns, Brandon Routh was not the problem at all. It's probably, the problem with Superman Returns is probably because of the fact that it's a sequel to the Christopher Reeve movies, which is kind of weird, but good on them for taking that chance. But Brandon Routh as Superman, I thought he was great. I really did. And to see him play Superman once again is great. It does beg the question, is this the Superman from Superman Returns, the Christopher Reeve Superman? Like, is that the Superman that we're getting? Or is this a totally different Superman who is, the Kingdom Come version, where, he's not... I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I mean, is this the Superman we're thinking of in Kingdom Come, where he's kind of retired and doesn't really want to deal with anything? Because on that world, you have these new up-and-coming superheroes who are doing their own rules, and the public loves them for that. And so Superman just kind of retires and doesn't want anything to deal with. And then eventually comes back because, these kids need to be taught, from right from wrong. Like, you want to be superheroes? You got to do it by the rules. Like, there has to be, like, a line. And so, who knows? That's my main question. Is this going to be directly connected to the Christopher Reeve Superman world or whatever? So that's my main question. But yeah, other than that, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see him, and I'm so happy for him, honestly. I am so stupidly happy for him. The Witcher, the trailer for The Witcher. Now, I'm going to be honest. I mean, as I've said on the show, I never read the books, never played the games. I'm only watching The Witcher because my boy Henry Cavill is the main star, and I will literally watch that guy in anything. So the trailer released, and I am so excited. I like the look and feel of it. It's got this dark, and it's going to be about monsters and whatnot, and he's a killer, he's a hunter, he's a monster killer, and how he gets through his day by day is being hired to kill these monsters and whatnot. It's very exciting. He looks really awesome, honestly. I mean, again, generally when it comes to, comic book movies and stuff like that, like, I can let things go. Like, I can totally let things go as long as you make me feel like the character we're seeing on the screen is the character I know and recognize. And, as long as you have, the basis of what makes that character great. But yeah, for The Witcher, I'm excited because I know nothing about this property at all. I know nothing about the world, and I'm excited. I like what I'm seeing, and it's got that, definitely has the budget that they put in for sure. I'm excited. I really am, and there seems like there's a lot of lore and humans and monsters and witches and all this stuff. It's gonna be fun. I'm hoping for the best, honestly. Hopefully it's not bad or anything. Stay on top of trailers. It Chapter 2. Now, I am excited for It Chapter 2. I am so excited for it because I really dug the first movie a lot. Not as scary as I thought it would be. It's more creepy, but they've been saying that this is going to be more horrifying and terrifying and all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, alright, cool. what could go wrong? And seeing this trailer, it's like, oh, I can see where it's going to get creepy and, like, very scary at times. And it's interesting because it seems like Mike has stayed in Derry, whereas with the other characters have left, and apparently they don't remember the events of the clown or whatever, just haunting them. And so Mike trying to tell the others that, we made a pact that if it ever came back, they would destroy it. And so far, it's going to be interesting. I mean, the cast looks great. It's definitely got that feel for it. I can't wait to see it. I mean, Carol clowns, I used to be afraid of clowns, but nowadays I'm just like, I'm over that fear. So yeah, It Chapter 2. Can't wait. It's coming out next month, so that's exciting. Watchmen. Now, Watchmen had a trailer. I don't know. I just rewatched this trailer, and I gotta say, in the beginning, wasn't happy that they're not doing the graphic novel, because if you're gonna do the graphic novel, you might as well have done it as a miniseries. And since they want to take it in a different direction, bring it to today's world, and apparently there's no social media from what I read in the show, it's like, okay, that's interesting. And you have these vigilantes beating on the cops to the point where the cops have to, like, hide their identities. It's going to be interesting, and I'm kind of warming up to this show a bit more, because now it's like I kind of know what's going on, know what the world is kind of like, and all these different characters I'm kind of curious to see. And we kind of we got to see the Night Owl ship in the trailer, which was a nice little Easter egg, I guess. I'm curious to see where this show kind of goes and where it ultimately goes in the future. And then we get our, like, a little sneak peek of Dr. Manhattan twice, with seeing the footage of him on Mars, and then seeing, apparently he comes back to Earth and you just see his hand. It's like, oh, this is okay, so it's gonna bring some of the familiar faces back. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm just hoping it's for the best, I guess, because I just kind of felt like, if you're gonna do Watchmen, what's the point of doing Watchmen if you're not gonna do the graphic novel? I mean, it's one of those properties where I feel like there's no reason to take it in a different direction. Just do the comic book as it is, I guess. Well, don't do a shot by shot like the comic is, because, I mean, for me personally, again, being a dead horse as I talk about this movie again, just don't, there's no point of, for me, the movie was just like, why do a reshot for the Watchmen movie? I don't understand. Not for me. Sometimes it worked, other times not so much. But yeah, Watchmen, the show, I'm curious to see how it goes, and it's coming this October. And, I'll give it, with most of the new shows that I do, I'll give it 3 episodes, and then we'll see what goes from there, So, alrighty, time for the Marvel Phase 4 timeline. I gotta say, overall, I am so excited for this lineup because it's just so new and out there. So first things first, coming in on May 1st, 2020, Black Widow, the prequel movie. Apparently it's set between Captain America's Civil War and Infinity War. Makes sense. No idea what to expect, honestly. I hear that Taskmaster is going to be the villain, which is like, okay, cool. That's cool. Don't really have any thoughts on that, honestly. Don't really know what to say. Coming that fall in 2020, though, we're getting the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and Baron Zemo is the villain. Kind of cool. And yeah, I kind of makes me wonder what that show is going to be about. I mean, there's a rumor, well, not really a rumor, speculation that maybe the government doesn't want the Falcon to be Captain America, the new face of being Captain America, which, alright, cool, makes sense. I mean, just let Falcon be Falcon and whatnot. It's going to be interesting. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to speculate on what that show could be, but that speculation of, government doesn't want Falcon to be Captain America, yeah, sure. That could be the whole show. Like, I wouldn't mind that at all. So, but then again, how does Baron Zemo come into play with that? I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see. And that's coming on Disney Plus. Then coming in November 5th in 2020, The Eternals. The whole cast is there. You've got what's his name from Game of Thrones, who played the oldest Stark, I guess. Richard something, I'm totally forgetting his last name. Then you got Angelina Jolie. You got the great Selma Hayek is going to be in it. I am so excited. And apparently this will be based off of Neil Gaiman's run. And again, no idea from the details. I haven't read the comics or whatever, but from the details that I read in articles, this is going to be more set on Earth. Some of them know that they're the Eternals, and some of them don't. So I can't wait. Can't wait to see how it all plays out and where it just goes, honestly. Then we have, I didn't write the date for this one, but Shang-Chi, The Legend of the Ten Rings. I know nothing about Shang-Chi. Again, this is kind of one of the reasons why I love this Marvel Phase 4, because I have no idea what to expect, and it's just so new and different. No idea, but from what I've read and listened to, he's kind of, I guess he was, I don't know if this is true, come at me if I get this wrong, but I think Shang-Chi came first before Iron Fist at the time of this whole craze of Kung Fu and whatnot. So that's interesting. And the cast, I have no idea, but I like this cast. Main Asian cast, I love it a lot. And I don't want to have these expectations, but I'm really hoping for actual Kung Fu. I hope there's Kung Fu, because Iron Fist really let me down in that. Even in season 2, I just didn't feel the whole Kung Fu-ish thing in there. And the Mandarin is going to be the villain, which I can't wait to see. For me personally, Iron Man 3, I like Iron Man 3. The Mandarin twist, it's whatever, I guess. I mean, it's whatever, but it's just I totally get what they were going for, but still, I'm just it's going to be exciting to see the Mandarin. I didn't have a problem at all with the Mandarin twist in Iron Man 3 because I have no, attachment to that character at all. So, but yeah, now that they're bringing the real Mandarin, I'm excited. And this cast that I don't know, it's great. I really like it. Come spring in 2021, though, on Disney Plus, we're getting WandaVision, and apparently this will directly tie into Doctor Strange, the next Doctor Strange movie, which I'll get into. WandaVision, can't wait. Basically, the basis is she makes this, I guess, own reality where she and Vision have a sort of life together, and that's kind of cool. She's manipulating reality in her own little world, I guess. That's exciting. Then come that following May 7th, 2021, we're getting Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, which I'm all for it. I mean, I know I've said in the past that, my one fear when it came to Spider-Man Far From Home was the fact that they were introducing multiverse, and I just felt like, oh no, I don't really want a multiverse or whatever. I hope it's just a one and done if that's the case. And of course, if you've seen Spider-Man Far From Home, wasn't the case at all, which I'm kind of glad. But with this, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, that is so fucking awesome. That's a great fucking title, honestly, and it totally makes sense to have Doctor Strange going up, I guess, against the Multiverse of Madness. I like that. I mean, Doctor Strange and Multiverse, I can totally buy that, because that makes total sense to me. I do hope this is just a one and done kind of thing. I hope Multiverse doesn't play a huge part in this next phase of Marvel movies. I really hope not. Because it's kind of I get it, you can do a lot of things with it, but at the same time, there's just no stakes, I guess. if you would. But in this Multiverse of Madness, Scarlet Witch will be in Multiverse of Madness, which I imagine she's probably has some sort of like meltdown, and she makes a crack in the universe. That's how this the multiverse is like. All these creatures from different universes are coming into, and Doctor Strange has to fix it with Scarlet Witch and whatnot. And apparently, this is going to be the first horror Marvel movie, which kind of like is like, okay, I do not believe for a second it's going to be rated R. There's no way it's going to be rated R. Like, I just don't see it at all. I don't see it. I mean, yeah, it'll be scary. It'll be like, I guess, a TV-14. Like, think Supernatural, I guess. Think Supernatural, where they can get a lot of things on that show, like with the blood and whatnot, as long as they're not dropping F-bombs and, you know, it's not too gory or whatever. Like, that's how I imagine it's going to be. It's kind of going to be like Supernatural in that sense that, like, you'll see horrific images and whatnot, but nothing too gory, and the language won't be too bad or whatever. But yeah, that's probably my favorite, most anticipated of Phase 4. Coming in, and that spring of 2021, we're getting Loki, the Loki show, which is going to basically, he's going to go through time and all that business, which kind of makes sense after seeing Endgame. But yeah, I'm excited. You know, the logo, everybody's complaining about the logo. For me, I'm just like, it's a logo. I don't really care for it. Coming in the summer of 2021, the What If animated show. Yeah, that's going to be fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, you could do a lot of stories within the MCU, like what if Killmonger was the king of Wakanda? I think we all know how that would turn out. Yeah, What If animated show, I'm all for it. I can't wait to see what they do with it. Then come in 2021 of fall, we're getting the Hawkeye show, which is about Clint teaching Kate Bishop. Train her to be the new Hawkeye, which is kind of like, what's the point of having a new Hawkeye, you know? Like, you just shoot arrows, but whatever. Gotta have the human character on this Avengers team, I guess. But whatever. I don't know. Hawkeye's never really been my favorite, and I never understood the outcry that some people have. They're like, where's Hawkeye, and blah, 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 and all this business. Never really understood that. The fascination or like the love for Hawkeye, but hey, what do I know, right? And then come in November 2021, Thor: Love and Thunder, and Taika Waititi's back directing it, and Natalie Portman is going to be the female Thor, which that is going to be great. Like, I thoroughly loved Thor Ragnarok. It's definitely my favorite of the whole trilogy. And I like the whole buddy cop sort of road trip movie that it did. And the humor, and it was a lot of fun. And I can't wait to see what Taika Waititi does with this one for sure. And Natalie Portman is back. I just really hope her character's more interesting than she has been in the past. Because for me, I could have cared less about Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda? I think that's her name. I don't know. I don't know what her character name is. But I just hope she's more interesting in that. And then the big surprise, of course, at the Marvel Phase Comic-Con panel, Blade is coming to the MCU. And I got, look, I'll be honest, never seen a Blade movie. I know I should be, but I just kind of feel like Blade has I never really cared for the character as much. I mean, again, I'm someone who doesn't really read much of any like Marvel comics or whatever. Like, I pick and choose. I'm more of DC, but Blade is definitely one of those characters from the Marvel side that I never really cared about. Like, I get it, he's a vampire killer and whatnot. He hunts vampires and all this stuff, and never really saw the Wesley Snipes Blade movies. Never saw them, never. Even now, I still don't feel the need to go back to see the Blade movies. But Blade coming to MCU is gonna be very interesting. Like, I do not see this being R-rated at all. Like, I don't see how. I mean, then again, it could be under, they could. I don't know, but I don't see, in terms of MCU, they have their formula, and I don't think, it's definitely for all ages and whatnot. So I don't think Blade is going to be rated R at all. And the fact that you got Mahershala Ali, Oscar winner, if you've never seen Moonlight, he's great in that, and he's great in Luke Cage. Don't get me wrong, he's great in Luke Cage. So, yeah, Mahershala Ali as Blade, I'm all for it. I can't wait to see it. It's just the idea of Blade coming to the MCU just really fascinates me a lot. So, yeah, that's all the Comic-Con news that I have for today. So yeah, that's that was quick. I thoroughly expected this to be a longer episode, but I guess not. But since I'm doing a solo show, makes sense. But yeah, so that's all I got for today on this episode of Spoiler Appetite. I'm Tristan, and you've just been spoiled.